this is the perfect program. I remember it was like first month was, I was like implementing, like it was just like, it was like, boom, 5 new clients. And I was like, holy shit, the program is made for itself.
Did you think it was possible to charge what you're now charging for online coaching?
Tough.
What has happened to your price since you joined?
Well, doubled for one of the offers and it pretty much quadrupled for another. And I still feel like maybe that quadruple is like that I never thought I would, maybe sounded too cheap.
What has happened to your close rate?
Stay the same. Literally stay the same. Learning how to run ads, being able to take metrics and understand metrics and improve on those metrics. And that whole system of creating and reiterating and retargeting, growing a following that's organic, that's interested in your product. So those are all systems that I learned on the program. For example, I'm going away this weekend and I know is like all I need is my laptop and I can still get clients and I can still serve my clients and serve them better by doing this online. It is way more powerful than being fixed to a schedule. Everything helped as well when it comes to client retention. So I was like renewing clients, putting them on different packets, stuff like that. And it was like, it made it so much easier to sell what was it like 3,500 pounds? Like, boom. Yeah, just straight out. And that was like, I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow. When you get to 40, 50 hours as a PT, if you're there at 6 a.m, you're leaving at 10 p.m. and you're literally trading time for money. Yeah, it's what I was looking for to get those systems in place for me to make that money so that I can actually treat it as a business and help more people. So goal one achieved, right? I've quit the PT in person and I'm going for my next goal of reaching for those 30K months with all the right systems and processes in place. Because I got married a year ago to allow me to put me in a more comfortable position to start a family, which is on the cards. So that's where I'm going with this. And then that's, if I was in a gym right now, working my ass off, I think I'd be thinking about it a lot differently. But the fact that I'm here and we're talking and I'm able to actually think about it as a very close and very near possibility, that's everything for me.
Today we have Thomas, who has been with us now, probably coming up on 6 months. We've definitely been together 5 because we've hit a nice little milestone along the way. Thomas, I'm going to pass it over to you first, or introduce yourself and who you work with.
Yeah, so Thomas, I'm mainly a nutritionist, but also qualified PT. And I work with busy dads, successful dads who don't have time to really look after themselves. And I help them lose a bunch of weight, fix their metabolic health, and most importantly, never need another coach again.
So you came to us 6 months ago, thereabouts. Life was a little bit different than what it is now. What made you reach out?
I was stuck in the typical sort of PT rat race, as you say, right? You're trading time for money. And while I was trying to grow my online side of things to get that freedom for my business to become more scalable, I just didn't have the knowledge. And I was looking for mentorship. I was looking to learn about marketing, about sales, about really just getting the right people in through the door so that I could help more people. And after doing a bunch of research, speaking to a bunch of people, I really came across your ads that were working very well and had a chat. And I thought, hey, I think this guy has a lot to teach me. So here we are.
So we jumped on. You mentioned you wanted to get out of that. Some people call it the golden handcuffs, right? You were a busy in-person PT, but there wasn't really any freedom. So what were you really trying to get away from before we get into what we have right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started, I was just working in the gym and I was already trying to do stuff online, but it was inconsistent. Like I had some clients already online that I was getting through the gym, but wasn't charging them enough.
Yeah.
The offer wasn't really nailed in, let's say. And I was probably making like with everything, like 4 or 5K.
Including in person?
Yeah, that's including in person and the online stuff. That was going on for a few months, and I was trying, but I realized that I just didn't have the knowledge to market, basically. And even just from a program, just everything knowledge, basically. Sales, everything. It's obviously you and what you were offering that resonated. And then since starting, like implementing the quick wins and then going through everything. I remember it was like first month was, yeah, I was like implementing, but already the offer, like the quick sort of mini shapeshifter, that the offer that I sent out, like it was just like, it was like, boom, 5 new clients. It
Yeah.
was like, it made it so much easier to sell because you reverse the risk. It's something I learned on the program. And
Yeah.
straight away, it was like, what was it like £3,500? Like, boom.
Straight up.
Yeah, just straight
Yeah.
out. And that was like, I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow. I was running that. Obviously, the everything helped as well when it comes to client retention. So I was like renewing clients, putting them on different
Yeah.
package, stuff like that. And yeah, it took me about 5 months. I could have went online probably earlier, but it was one of those things where I think a lot of PTs transitioning online are fearful of having that
Big
secure.
time. Yeah. Big time.
And because that's where you're going to show up, you have your clients already who are regular. So you know that you're going to have that money all the time. Whereas transitioning online, the fear is, what if I have one good month and then the next month it sucks? And of course, it's not consistent month to month,
Yeah.
but the upside is much bigger. And then once I finally realized that on average, actually over the few months, I can do it. And that's what I made the call. But then on top of that, I realized that if I take back my 30 hours or so that I was spending in the gym, and if I could dedicate those 30 hours to the business every week and actually getting more leads, talking to more people, right? Engaging in the whole process and treating this as a business and not just like another coaching venture that it is, the
Yeah.
opportunity and the possibilities and the chances for growth and making even more money increase. Yeah, you're right. I was busy flat out working 30, 40 plus hours and waking up at 6 a.m. to have all those regular sessions with all the clients that I had, but it just wasn't scalable. When you get to 40, 50 hours as a PT, if you're there at 6 in the morning, you're leaving at 10 p.m. and you're literally trading time for money. Like you can only have so many clients at that time without completely burning out. And just wasn't sustainable for me. It wasn't making me happy. Got miserable, was tired all the time, and it didn't provide me enough time to like be with my wife, to work on the things that I actually want to work on. And so I was like just looking to build that online side of things to get out of that.
So we jumped on a call. We ran through everything. What made you actually pull the trigger and make the decision that you were going to join with us?
You guys were offering quite an extensive library of knowledge, right? Because for me, that was the most important thing, is to learn how to do it myself, to understand the marketing side of things, which you were talking about Instagram, you were talking about LinkedIn, you were talking about all these different ways to attract and retain clients. There was sales training, there was client retention training, all these different things. For me, it seemed like a holistic package when it came to what a coach actually needs, how to look at your own coaching business as not just a coach, but as a CEO, let's say, and to be able to grow it and scale it long term. Because for me, this was long term. It's something that I'm passionate about, something that I love doing. So I want to be able to do it for a long time and help as many people as possible. And you guys have the systems in place, the recurrent coaching, the education in place, and all the tools that I needed to be able to do that. So that's what really swayed me.
So on that note, I'm glad you said that, but on that note, why not go with just an agency that will just run some ads for you?
Because I want to learn how to do it myself. I've always thought that if my business is going to grow, and that this is coming from a sort of before PT and coming from a corporate background, right? I feel like a CEO or a person running a business needs to know every single department and how to do it themselves. And for me, if I gave it to an agency, great, they run the ads and whatnot, but would that teach me how to do that myself? Probably not. So learning that and having the ability to learn all these skills and tools was what swayed me away from an agency because everything was in my control and I got what I put in when it came to that.
Of course. Plus now you have everything you need long term and you're not reliant on an agency. You're not reliant on someone to just turn your ads on and off. You actually have all the knowledge to do it for yourself. So we got started, and what was the main goal when we really got started?
The main goal was to go fully online. That was the primary goal. And now that goal is achieved, like I've always had in the back of my mind, I want to hit consistent sort of 30K months. So goal one achieved, right? I've quit the PT in person after about 5 months on the program. And I'm going for my next goal of reaching for those 30K months with all the right systems and processes in place.
Cool. So goal one, achievement unlocked. What made it possible? Because you have said to me you could probably have done it earlier, but what have you actually taken from the program? What's in place now? And what made it possible for you to actually go fully online?
It was a lot of things. And I'd be lying if I said it was easy, but it's the learning curve, right? And it's like the more you learn, the more you realize that you need to put in place, so to speak. Now, granted, on the program, there's a lot of things which were quick wins and really helped me initially. I think the most important part to put in place for me was like the systems in terms of my ad creation, tracking the metrics, improving the ads, right? Once you get to that, then it's improving your sales skills so you can close more. Every it's like I reached a milestone and then I realized I need to learn something more to get to the next level. And then it just repeated. And so I got to this point where I realized that I have systems that work for me when it came to ads, systems that I've learned enough about sales where I could close at a pretty good rate. And I was making enough money to be safe in my own mind, because I think that's a big fear for PTs going online is like, how will I make enough money month to month? And once I did that, got all of those in place and got over that fear that I had, I was able to say, okay, I have a repeatable system with ads that attracts leads that I have the skills now to close and to provide a fantastic service for, to retain them so that a month I'm making all the money that I need to make. And when that moment hit for me, and I said, if I can get more hours back in the day to even put more work into that and get more leads and close more sales, then it makes sense. And it would make no sense for me to stay and sacrifice all that potential income for something that's pretty much fixed month on month in the gym.
So we turned our back on early mornings, and maybe you still get up early, but early mornings in the gym, long hours, late nights, and just a little bit of no real freedom to now you're completely your own guy working wherever. You've just come back from a little bit of traveling. How does it feel?
Feels great, man. Feels great. It feels nice to be in control. I won't lie and say that it's not scary sometimes still, but having the skills, the tools to be able to have full control over that is powerful. And being able to like you said, travel and go away. For example, I'm going away this weekend and I know it's like all I need is my laptop and I can still get clients and I can still serve my clients and serve them better by doing this online. It's way more powerful than being fixed to a schedule. And
Sure. I'm glad you brought up the fact that we make sure we can actually de-risk the client at the start by using things like quick win systems. And we're very transparent with it that we want to de-risk you. We want to make sure that your investment is back in your pocket ASAP because you're safe. And then we can have a little bit of peace of mind to then work on the long-term systems in the business. So that's exactly what happened in this situation, right? We came out the gates, we went quick wins, and you ended up with how many clients in the space of what, a week?
Yeah. So first week I put out one of those quick win strategies and literally 5 clients in the first week. And I was like, holy shit, the program is made for itself. And then after that, it was all upside.
When we got through that initial phase, you started getting into your longer term systems. What do you feel like you have in place now as you continue to grow the business long term?
Now, again, the ads, learning how to run ads, being able to take metrics and understand metrics and improve on those metrics. And that whole system of creating and reiterating and retargeting, growing a following that's organic, that's interested in your product. So those are all systems that I learned on the program. It's not something like, oh, you post and then you get lots of followers. There is literally a system to get followers. There is a system to market your offer. And then moving on to something like LinkedIn, again, there's a system for reaching out organically. There's a system for creating ads and running ads that are effective. There's a system on converting those leads that you get from those ads into sales calls, into clients. So having now set up those systems, having learned them, it's quite it's quite comforting to be able to know that these things work. And now we're just like pressing a button on it, looking at the numbers and just iterating and improving.
Was this whole experience working with us what you thought it would be when you started?
To be honest, I had no idea because I did actually do something similar before, and it was done for you type of thing, but then you had to do parts of it. And I was like, I wasn't really learning much. They just got you in and didn't provide that much value. So I was skeptical and I didn't know what to expect. But like when we spoke, I realized that it is much more of a educational coaching service, so to speak, mentorship service, which is what I was looking for at the time. Because as I mentioned earlier, it's important for me to learn everything. And from that side, like the expectation was fully met. And I like the fact that you guys were confident in what you're offering. And obviously the guarantee helps and whatnot. But at the same time, have going in and learning everything, like that was powerful. I didn't expect to learn as much as I learned and then continue to learn because the coaches are top class.
What has happened to your price since you joined?
Yeah, the prices doubled essentially. And then, well, doubled for one of the offers and it pretty much quadrupled for another. And I still feel like maybe that quadruple is like that I never thought I would, maybe sounded too cheap.
Yeah.
Because again, something that I learned, something I didn't realize is basically we're helping people and the price is, let's say our price is, people are paying for an outcome, right? And if we can provide them that outcome, then it is worth a lot of money to them, which is, and that's like whatever the person is willing to pay, right? For that transformation. So I was selling my services way too cheap. And at the same time, I realized that because they were so cheap, maybe people didn't even find the right value in them. And so working on that offer at the start, and I keep telling you just how good that exercise was, is actually creating and putting time into creating your offer. That is powerful because you realize how valuable it is.
I can't drive it home enough to people when they join how powerful your offer is, and your offer isn't your price, right? There's so many more things involved in creating a good offer. But when you have that world-class offer, it mitigates sales skills. You can be okay at sales, but if you have a really good offer, you're going to close super strong. You can be terrible at sales. Your ads cannot be that good, but if your offer is amazing, they'll still perform. So you've doubled one of your prices, you've quadrupled another price. What has happened to your close?
Stay the same, literally stay the same. And for that one that I doubled, it's probably even higher because it's such a no brainer. And actually, that's why I say that one actually might also still be too cheap because people are jumping at it. And which is a great thing, right? Because I'm able to help more people. But again, the offer just gave clarity to me and then also to the individual, to the lead, to the potential client that this is exactly what they need because that was what the exercise is all about.
Did you think it was possible to charge what you're now charging for online coaching?
Dude, I was when I started off, especially just like the nutrition stuff, I was charging for a nutrition plan, I was charging £99.
Wow.
£99. And that was a consultation plus a plan, right? And then I check in with them every couple weeks for 3 months to see how it's going. And and then you go into charging like things like 700 to start. And I was like, geez, people paid for that. And there was like, people was like, yeah, fine, cool, whatever. And then doubling that and people are still fine with it.
And where's your highest level package at right now?
It's 4K.
So we've gone from £99 to selling something for 4K
Yeah.
online
Successfully.
successfully.
Yeah.
So one thing is, look, how does it feel to be completely online? How does it feel to be able to charge that amount of money for your online service now?
Well, it feels amazing because you feel like you're valuable, right? In a weird way, that numbers attached to how much value you provide. But I think when you're undercharging, you become resentful. And also you don't, because you realize that you charge so little. And when you break it down based on time, you feel like, oh my God, it's too much work for what I'm charging. But when you charge more, you're able to earn a much better living, right? Be happier in that sense, but also provide a better service. And those things they go hand in hand because provide a better service, more people come, you make more money. That was the freedom for me. Like charging more allowed me to, first and foremost, I think, provide a better service for my clients because consciously I was then willing to invest way more time with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've obviously had a very big turnaround here, like obviously business wise and lifestyle wise as well. And you said you have your sights set on your next goal, but what is, apart from that, what else is next for you, whether or not it be business or personal life, now that you have your time back and your freedom back? What's next for you in business, in life? What's around the corner?
Dude, I'm gonna be working very hard to get to those 30K months. That is my goal. I know it's arbitrary and maybe that's the sub goal to the next goal, right? But the reason I want to get to that number is because it would allow me to live a better life, right? It allow me to scale the business to a sense maybe I can hire someone where I won't have to work as much on it, let's say. I like working, but allow me to have a bit more free time. Allow me, because I got married a year ago, to allow me to put me in a more comfortable position to start a family, which is on the cards. So that's where I'm going with this. And then if I was in a gym right now, you working my ass off, I think I'd be thinking about it a lot differently. But the fact that I'm here and we're talking and I'm able to actually think about it as a very close and very near possibility, that's everything for me. Because now that the systems are set up, it's in my control whether I get there or not. And it'll depend on my hard work.
100%. But now you understand that the systems, you have inputs and they have systems inside of those and they have outputs, and you understand how to control the inputs. And you know that when you put in X, you're getting out Y with a very close degree of certainty. So it's just a case of now manipulating those systems. So there's a lot of coaches that we speak to every day that are in a very similar position to where you were, right? They maybe don't have the freedom that they want. They're not making the money that they want. And to be honest, they're very skeptical of ads like ours or services like ours. What would you say to those guys that are on the fence of maybe joining something like us?
Do you know what? Being perfectly honest, I say they're right to be skeptical
Me
because
too.
a lot of programs like this, a lot of mentorships are pretty shit. They promise a lot, they don't actually deliver. And I was that guy too. I went through something else and I was like, God, I would like, do I want to try waste money? Is that risk? So I say to those guys, ask the questions, know what you want to get out of it, right? If you want to learn, this is the perfect program, right? If you want to learn about these systems, about how to actually, and this is a cliche that you hear in the industry a lot, right? If you know how to, if you had to give someone $50 and they gave you $200, would you do that exchange? That's how these systems work, right? It's like you can put in X money into ads and you can get 4X in revenue. like having that system and having the knowledge of how to replicate that system is extremely powerful. And that is what you get on this program. So that's what I say, that if you want a system and you want the knowledge to be able to make money predictably, then that's what you will get on QLF.
I really thank you for jumping on with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do next. Thanks for jumping on.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me.